begin with a brief introduction of yourself and your career as a musician.
I'm Tabitha Fair, and I've been singing pretty much all my life. Grew up a preacher's kid from Oklahoma. Pretty much everything started from there. So I really got my start in Nashville years ago, and kind of got discovered by this producer named Keith Thomas here in Nashville, and he started putting me on a lot of records that he was producing, Amy Grant and Carla Bonoff and Vanessa Williams back in the day, and so that really led to a lot of things, some touring with Amy Grant. I toured with her quite a bit over the years, and a lot of different artists. A lot of cool things kind of came from that too. I got to sing with a lot of my heroes, Sting, and Bruce Springsteen, James Taylor, I've written with Carole King, and we had a song in a film called Sum of All Fears. And then I got to do the Grammys with Lady Gaga a few years ago. And there's just been a lot of amazing things, that I've gotten to do throughout my career. I think I've been very fortunate. So I've done a lot of touring, I've done a lot of television, I've done a lot of some film stuff, and I have quite a few things out right now that are recent. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Let me take you back to 2001, or at the end of 2000, and speak about your musical involvement in a video game called Sonic Adventure 2. The Sonic Adventure 2 video game particularly is very popular among video game fans. The music is actually much more memorable than the characters in the game sometimes, because the music is basically it's really catchy, from Sonic's themes to Tails to Rouge's, and yours particularly for this character, Rouge the Bat. This character actually made its debut in this video game. So please tell us how you became involved in this project.
Well, it's interesting. This happened when I first moved to New York City. I moved there in 1999, I guess, around there, 2000. And one of my roommates, his name is Todd Cooper. He's also on it as well. And so his jingle manager is the one who basically got us involved. I also signed with his jingle manager, Valerie Morris, and her agency is now called Damnation. Basically, it was through Valerie Morris, Damnation, or Val's artist at the time, who connected us with the producers, with the people who were involved in this project. So that's how I got involved, was through my friend Todd and Valerie Morris.
Now, from what I researched that I gathered, the song itself, from the theme called Fly to the Moon, or excuse me, Flying the Freedom, that's a totally different song that I'm singing, that I was mentioning.
Right.
I always get those confused.
Right.
Flying the Freedom, did you had any creative writing behind that, or was it already written?
I did not. Basically, I just came in as the voice. They had all kinds of recordings up on their site of all the different artists that they represented. Okay. And so they liked my stuff. They liked the sound of my voice, and they thought that it would match and work with this character. So basically, I went in, I recorded the music, and that was it, right? And who knew, that it was just going to become this big, cool thing, and it has all these tentacles, who knew? Especially at this point in my life, it's so cool to have, gotten to be the voice of this character, the singing voice,
Did you get to see concept artwork of the character?
I've seen it off and on. I have to say, I've never been really a game person. I have to admit, for me, I guess that's why it's so interesting, that I'm a part of this whole thing, and that I'm not really in that world so much, so it's really an honor, to have had this kind of success.
Can you elaborate on how the recording process was for the song? I mean, was it a typical music session, or was there the Japanese producer?
Exactly. What what happens is you go in, sometimes they'll send you the song prior to the session, but primarily you just get there and you learn it, right? So you get there, you learn it, and then you sing it. And then, we'll do various takes until they're happy and they're like, okay, I think we have what we need to make this all come together, and what they'll do is they'll usually comp a vocal, which means they'll take all these different versions you've sung and they'll make one version, and then we'll add layers of background vocals and that kind of thing. So, and I think maybe Todd and I might have done some background vocals together.
Flying to Freedom was not the only song you sang. You also sang a couple of other songs. Other than Fly Me into Freedom, I don't think the other ones had lyrics as much as they had much...
they had what you call ad-libs.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. And it was more of a same rhythm, basically, like a slow, jazzy type feel to it. How does that... Did you ever get to see all that in action in the game, either through footage or...
No. Because like I told you, I don't really play the games, so I've never, believe it or not, I've not really seen the footage. I have a lot of different people reach out to me about the music, and they say, oh, I loved your voice on this song or that song. And it's such an interesting thing for me because I'm not as involved on that other side of it. I was involved in the music and making, because they like the sound of my voice for these particular these particular songs. So they handpicked my voice for those things. So, and so those other songs you're talking about with more of the ad libs, they'll put a track up and they'll say, hey, just do what you're feeling here or here or here. Or they'll say, just sing ad libs throughout the whole song, and then they'll pick and choose where they want to put them, So for me,
cut and paste.
Yeah. So for me, it was a gig. It's like you go in and you're hired. Basically, you're contracted to go in through your manager to go in and be the voice and do these things. And a lot of times you don't know. Like I've sung on like thousands and thousands of songs, and and so I'm learning new songs every day, basically, So what you do is you go in and you do that, and then you move on to the next thing, So you don't really think about, what can happen with this or what can happen with that. You just go in and you do what you do.
Have other fans from the Sonic the Hedgehog community reached out to you in regards to this song?
Yeah, a lot of people reach out to me, have reached out to me over the years just to compliment, say, hey, I've been a fan, I've been a fan since I was, a little kid, makes me feel a little old, but no, I'm just grateful, it really is something to be proud of.
Particularly those who are fans of that particular character who, ever since that character's debut, I think you've, your music, or at least your vocals in that song kind of built the bridge to that. Every time that character comes out in other video games, it's always the same type of music. She's always that same kind of like a spy Bond girl type of character, but nonetheless, I think you've paved the way to have that type of music. I don't know if you're aware, but there's been re-releases of the song throughout the years. I'm not sure if you ever got some compensation for that, but I don't know if you're aware.
I have never gotten any compensation for any of it, except when I first did it, Yeah,
as far as I'm aware, I think there's only been re-releases in like musical compilation discs, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have different people who will say, hey, can I do a remix? And I'm like, well, sure, because I don't own those songs because I didn't write them. I'm just the voice,
Right.
So I'm just like, hey, yeah, do a remix. So
going back to the recording sessions, did you get to meet any of the other musicians that were involved in the game, such as Ted Poley, John Gioeli?
No, I just, like I said, I just went in. It's like you go in after the track is done, and then you go in and you sing the songs. So, and honestly, it's been so many years ago. It'd be hard for me to try to remember back to that day. My voice has made an impact, you know, with people from all walks of life, all age ranges, you know. So that character, that my voice being related to that character in those songs, that's what's cool about music, and that's what's cool about, you know, the games and the visuals, you know, the sounds. It all definitely makes an impact. And it's like whenever, you know, you hear one of your favorite songs on the radio, that song can take you back in time to a place and to even a smell, you know. So that to me is the beauty of music.
And I think the best part is not only, like you mentioned, your people remember you and from all paths of life, but also new fans who are coming into this fandom. The music is there forever. I mean, it's not going away. Yeah. It's there forever. It's an iconic game with iconic music, and people are coming in just discovering this new game, discovering essentially your voice as you know, that particular character, and they are getting inspired by you, basically. So I think that's the best part too.
It is. So it's like, it's not only, you know, people from, like you said, all walks of life, but it's all age ranges. You know, it's like, you know, people back in the day, and now you got these new people, these new kids or whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. I think the game, obviously, it speaks to all ages, it sounds like.
Was this the only video game you ever did vocals for? Was it?
Yeah. Yep. It sure is. It's the only one to my recollection, unless there are songs that I don't know about that's been put into things, which could also
could be. Did Sega or any of the other Nintendo producers company ever contacted you for like a comeback in any other game? Or
no, because it was through probably a Jingle House, you know, initially.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's primarily what my management worked with. So it was probably a Jingle House that got hired to do the music for this video game.
It seems the only one that really got stuck to, and I believe that's because he's friends with the producer of some of these music, was Johnny Gioeli, and I keep mentioning him just because he's since the first video game came out all the way to presently, he's always been like the number one guy to go to make the theme songs for every Sonic video game that is out there. So it seems like
cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
We're about to end this interview, but is there any things you would like to say to your fans, Sonic the Hedgehog fans out there?
I would just like to say thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for being so kind to reach out to me and just tell me how much that you love the music and how it makes you feel, or how it made you feel in the moment, because that means a lot to me. I don't take it lightly. I really appreciate it, and that's why I do what I do. So thank you. That's all. I love you, and I thank you.
So. Out of curiosity, would you be willing to sing the chorus of the song?
This one?
Yeah, there you go. That's the one.
See, if I would have had more time, if you would have told me, I would have prepared it. It's been a long time since I've sung this song. I can go by myself like a We'll just remember this way. Ooh, yeah.
How does it feel looking back and hearing that song from all those years ago?
Well, it's cool. You know, it was high. It was pretty high up there. The key was high.
Yeah.
No, it sounds great. It's definitely it's legendary for a reason. It's a great song, you know, and that's what it all goes back to, is the song. The song is great. You put a voice on it that really is the right voice, then, you know, that's what hit songs are made of, basically. And this is a hit song, obviously.
A hit song to hit video game, everything.
Yep. Yeah. That's right. That's right.
All right.
It's been so awesome, talking with you. And I just want to say hello to everybody out there. And thanks again for your support and your love. Thank you.
And thank you. I mean, you've made a lot of people happy with this interview. I know there's a lot of people who might have questions. You probably already answered it for them. Thank you so much again for accepting this interview. I know it was a short interview, but nonetheless, there was a lot of insight as to how you became the singing voice of Rouge, and it's just been a great honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.